You get to the gradient tool by hitting G to get into the gradient tool right here. And the way that it works is you click and drag and it creates a gradient from the foreground color to the background color. So let's undo that and let's set the background color at red and the foreground color at blue. And you can see that it creates a gradient from one color to the other. Wonderful. Now the real options with the gradient tool you can get to by double clicking up here, and now you can change all sorts of things. So let's say that we wanted to change how this gradient worked right there. Let's say we wanted to add another color in, so let's make this color, well, that's changing the opacity. Let's make it so there's a yellow that gets into the mix. I just did that by clicking down here. Let's make it so it gets a little bit less opaque up here. So I clicked up here and then I lowered the opacity. I click down here and then I can add in a bunch of different colors. So I'm going to say OK. And now when I click and drag, it happens in whatever was double clicked up there. And there's all sorts of default options from foreground to background color, from foreground color to transparent, from black to white, etc., etc. You can do things like stripes, all sorts of different options. So let's just do the basic foreground color to background color. Now there's a couple of other options that you can do on here. You can set the mode instead of just to normal. You can make it so it only darkens the image. You can make it so it goes on multiply. Well, here, I'll show you the big three that you might use. Multiply, screen, which is a way of lightening. And if you look at these, you'll see that this is the darken section. This is the lighten section. So multiply, screen to lighten. Overlay just kind of makes everything a little bit more vibrant. So you'll see that it's making everything a little bit more vibrant right there. And, you know, I'll be honest, those are actually the big three that you'll use. Are there others? Yes, color is actually pretty cool. Feel free to play with them. Play with multiply to darken, screen to lighten, overlay to make everything a bit more vibrant, and then color will just make it so everything is this color right here. So those are a couple of things with the gradient option. Other options, less important. I wouldn't worry about them. Be aware that if you do this multiple times and you're in any mode other than the normal mode, it will be additive. So do it right the first time, or don't. It's up to you. So that's normal mode, and this is multiply mode. What else? The paint bucket tool allows you to fill in areas with a single color. So I could fill this in with blue. Here we go. This is filling in with blue. I'll be honest, there aren't that many times where I will use the paint bucket tool in this case. Generally, it's a matter of using the wand tool to get exactly the right selection. So here, let's go to that. I'm going to the wand tool to get exactly the right selection. And then hitting Alt-Delete just to fill it in with the foreground color right there. But you can do that just by going to the paint bucket tool and doing it in single clicks. But I would avoid this in the same way that I would avoid the magic eraser tool. And the last tool located here is the 3D material drop tool. So in order to do that, I need to set up a 3D layer. So let's quickly set up a 3D layer. Bike. Increase the size with Control T, bring it down here, lovely, make it white because obviously we need to be able to see it, and turn it 3D for absolutely no good reason other than the sake of example. Bike. And you'll notice that all of our menus over here jump to some of the 3D options. There we go. And now when I go to 3D material drop tool, I can choose a 3D material and drop it in onto a certain surface. So there we go. 3D material dropped onto that. So those are your different paint bucket options. What is this wonderful result that we have here? Wonderful.